Morning all. It's just coming up to 6 a.m. I am all packed up and ready to get back to the PCT. Pretty damp morning, actually. A lot of condensation and dew. One thing I have to do in Ashland is find something to use as a ground sheet for the tent, like a piece of Tyvek or something like that, because there's just so much moisture soaking through the ground sheet. Anywhere where I've had something laid, like a battery bank or my sleeping pad or anything like that, where there's been some pressure on, there's moisture transfer through, and I've had to wipe everything down this morning in the tent pretty much before I packed it away. But I got a good night's sleep. Stars were nice again, a couple of pictures, nothing really special, but no animal noises, no deer trying to get into my tent or anything like that, so it was good news in that respect. But like I say, I think I've got about 5 miles to do this morning to get back to the PCT. I'm full of water. That's one thing I like doing, is getting the water on an evening so I don't have to bother getting it on a morning. It's one less thing to do. And I think I ended up doing about 36 miles altogether yesterday, which is pretty decent considering all the trouble I had yesterday morning with the blowdowns and stuff. And unfortunately, I think that is going to be the case again today once I get back to the PCT. It sounds like for at least a mile the trail is really overgrown and there's a ton of blowdowns. So we'll see what sort of condition it's in when I get there. I'm getting close to the top of the road. Nice little waterfall with its own kind of little pool at the bottom of it there. And then we got another bigger waterfall over here. Really nice. Oh, that's even got a better pool. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Just cascading down the rocks. Well, that is that. As you might be able to see on the tree there, there is a PCT sign. I've rejoined it. That is where I would have come out if I'd taken the actual trail from Syad. And then this is the continuation of the trail going up here. Lots and lots of cobwebs glinting in the sun. I've rejoined it at mile 1672.3. So it almost feels like I've been a little bit of a time warp. But I'm glad I came up that way. It's a beautiful, beautiful view from the top of this mountain today. I think I've got a tiny bit more climbing to go before I actually reach the very top, but I had to show you this view just because it's absolutely stunning. That's the one side, and then the side I came from this morning is over here. I've basically stopped for a couple of reasons. This is the first place that I've had any cell service for like 24 hours since the day 105 video came out, and I was just looking at a few of the comments. There's so many comments on there. Thank you guys for all the comments and thoughts and well wishes you've put on there. It's hugely appreciated. I will reply to them once I get to town. I just I just have to get to town first. But also, Mike and your wife, thank you very much for your support and buy me a coffee. I am hoping to do a video on my camera gear, on the gear that I'm using to vlog with. But if I don't get round to it, I will certainly message you directly and let you know what I'm using. But as I say, I really do want to get a video on that done because I think it would help other people out there that want to try a similar thing. Also, NHKG, I think, on Buy Me a Coffee, thank you very much. I will certainly buy some ice cream. That's really nice of you. They only had the really, really big tubs of the Umpqua stuff in the store yesterday, so I had to just get a drumstick. But once again, once I reach Ashland, then I'll certainly buy a tub. Thank you very much for that. And Laurie, last but not least, that is just so generous of you. And aside from that, thank you so much for the lovely note that you put on there. That's really nice of you. I'm glad that you're enjoying the videos, and it always amazes me when people have said that they're watching every single one. That shows dedication and some determination. Thank you so much. It's really nice of you, and your support is massively appreciated. That's so generous. Thank you. So I'm going to carry on. I think from what I can tell, it seems like I'm approaching an area where they've been kind of clearing some blowdowns and some overgrowth. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of condition the trail's in. It's not been too bad so far, certainly nowhere near as bad as yesterday, but there has been a little bit of kind of uncomfortable pushing through bushes and negotiating obstacles. So hopefully there won't be a great deal more of that, and we can finally get moving. I do need to check on the app and see how far I've got left to go to the border. I would like to know so I can have a rough idea of what I can aim to do mileage-wise today. So I shall update you on that when I've checked it out myself. So I've just been checking on Far Out on the app. I am a little under 18 miles, 1/8, from the Oregon border. And then I am a little under 45 miles from the place where I need to hitch into Ashland. So what I would like to do is push today and leave myself with basically what I'm thinking at the moment is anything less than 25 miles to do tomorrow will be absolutely brilliant. I'll be perfectly happy with that. Because I know I can do 25 if I start early. I know I can do 25 miles by kind of like mid to late afternoon. So that'd work out nicely for getting into Ashland on, what day is it? Oh man, it's Sunday today, so it'll be Monday evening when I get in. Timed perfectly for midweek hotel rates. So yeah, that is the plan at the moment. Hopefully this assault course won't last much longer and I can get back to some normal hiking. This is more like it. I'm not going to complain about this at all. This is exactly the sort of thing that I want. I've got about 6.5 miles to my next water source. It's called the Alex Hole Spring. I just stopped off at the Alex Hole Spring. It's only a short ways off trail, but really steep down and steep back up again. The water, absolutely ice cold refreshing. Really, really nice. Pretty slow flow coming out of a little plastic pipe, but blimey neck, that was much needed. I actually had a lot less water than I thought I had. I reached round to fill up my bottle from my reserve on the back. I thought there was a good 700 ml in it, and there was probably about 150 ml in it. So wasn't the end of the world. I managed fine, but just need to keep a mental note for future. And I've just checked the app, and it's roughly 8 miles to the border now. It's about 1 p.m. I'm not going to make it before lunchtime. I'll find somewhere to stop and have some food, have a rest. I've just retightened my shoes and just shaken them out a bit. Got a little, I don't know if it's a blister or a hot spot on the side of my left heel. I put a plaster on it last night, some KT tape, to try and stop the rubbing. But I think these shoes are definitely about done. You can kind of feel, look at that view. You can kind of feel everything through the soles now. Whereas when they were brand new, you know, there was a real good layer of cushioning there. And now they're definitely getting a bit long in the tooth. But, when I stop for lunch, I'll take them off again and just let my feet air a little bit. It seems to have been helping the last few days when I've been doing that, especially during the bigger mile days. You get your shoes off and just let your feet breathe. Start making a little list of stuff I need to do I need to purchase in Ashland as well, just so I don't forget anything. I had 3 pairs of Injinji liner socks. One of those had to get thrown out the other day because both socks were in like really big holes on the heels, unusable. So I need another pair of those. The ground sheet for the tent. A couple of other little bits like consumables like wet wipes and hand sanitizer. Interesting. Oregon or bust. Yes, indeedy. Well, I thought, seeing as I'm only about 6 or 7 miles away from the border, I may as well have one last lunch in California. And I was looking for somewhere with a nice view where I can just sit and enjoy my last few miles of the state. And I think this is going to fit the bill quite nicely. It's possible there's another view just through this stand of trees, but I'm happy with this one, and I've got some self-service here as well, so I can spend a bit of time trying to find myself some accommodation in Ashland. So this will be me for the next half an hour or so. It's not too bad, is it? A little bit hazy today. I guess it's maybe haze and smoke. Is that a whacking great mountain I can see in the distance? It must be. It's really difficult to make out, but right pretty much in the centre of the shot, it should be. I can just see. Oh wow. Huh. Almost didn't notice that. See if you can see it. Zoomed as far in as I can go, but it should be somewhere in the centre of the screen, whatever it is. Unless my eyes are playing tricks on me, I don't know. It just looks huge, whatever it is. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry I've not filmed for a while. Been hiking with a woman from Portland, and we just got talking basically. It made time absolutely fly, and consequently, she's just stopped to filter some water. Consequently, I am in a place called Donamore Meadows, coming up to Donamore Cabin, which I believe is possibly I'm saying possibly, I'm not 100% certain, but it's possibly an early settlers cabin that's currently been restored by volunteers. You can see the meadows here. Beautiful looking. Look at that. That's a picture and a half, isn't it? And I'm also 1 mile away from the state line, or the Oregon border. So, been doing pretty well. It's like we both said when we were hiking, when you hike with somebody else, when you've not been used to it, time does fly. So, very shortly, I know I've been banging on about it on this video, and probably yesterday as well, about getting to Oregon. And I am genuinely excited, but until now, I just didn't realise just how excited I am. It's just the milestone. The fact that California is done, and with it being such the long, huge state that it is, you look at Oregon and you think, hang on a second, Oregon isn't even as long as NorCal. I think Oregon's something like 453 miles, is it? Possibly. I could be wrong. But oh man. I'm also currently about 28.5 miles away from the road where I need to hitch tomorrow. So I think it's about 4:30ish. Plenty of time to get a few more miles in this evening. There is a big climb. This is the start of it. So the actual border is only part way up the climb. It may well be that I carry on to the top of the climb. My tent is still wet from this morning, so I'd like to be able to get that up and let it dry out and air a bit before I put all my gear in and try and go to sleep. And there we are, there's the cabin. Look at that. Oh, nearly tripped over the stones. Boggy area. How nice is that? I think I'll just take a photograph and then carry on my merry way. Man, it's hot. Right, everyone. We are less than 0.1 miles away from the border. And I can feel myself on the verge of crying. As pathetic as that sounds. But you've all come this far with me, so you all get to cross the border at the same time as me. It's only fair. Well done to everyone for sticking with it, and thank you for all the support over the last few months. Boom! Congratulations.
Welcome to Oregon.
Oregonians. Right, everyone, well done. well done, you have made it to Oregon. I couldn't film much before. There was a couple here doing their thing, and obviously I don't like to interrupt people like that. I felt bad enough walking up with the camera going. But anyway, we are here, the Oregon-California border. I'm glad I stopped where I did for lunch because there is not much of a view here. Basically just looking out across some trees. So here is the official PCT sign, Mexico, 1,694 miles, Canada, 958. So even that number's gone down quite a bit since yesterday. It feels so cool seeing that sign. And then in this you've got the hiker register. I did say that yesterday at the store I'd bought myself a mystery item. Some of you might have seen it outside the tent last night in the video. If not, here it is, a celebratory can of root beer. Don't worry, it's non-alcoholic if you don't know what root beer is. But I'm going to have that right now. Cheers, folks. Well done on making it to Oregon. And once again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all your support, all your messages, all your likes, dislikes, comments, shares, everything you've done to egg me on to this point in the trail. I hope you've enjoyed the journey across California. It's certainly been eventful, to say the least. There's been some sights that I will not be forgetting any time in the future, and let's hope that Oregon has another great experience for us. Cheers, guys. So while I was just stood taking in the moment back there at the border, another hiker turned up going southbound. He started in Ashland this morning, and funnily enough, he also hiked in 2019, and he's just finishing off the bits that he missed that year. So good luck to him. And then guess who turned up? That's right, it was Goat. Big smile on his face, taking loads of pictures of the both signs and the trail register. I took a few photos for him and he returned the favour. Thank you very much, Goat. He's fast. I tell you something, he is really fast. And he always looks like he's enjoying himself as well. It's fantastic. So the guy that was going southbound was actually looking at the trail register, and he was counting up how many people had come through today. 50 hikers have passed that marker today and written the names in the book. So I know they're not all going to be camped in the next sort of 5 or 10 miles, but that's where I'm going to be looking to camp. And I would imagine there's going to be a shortage of space with that many people around. In fact, going forward, because so many people have been skipping the fire, it's kind of bottlenecked, and it's created like what I'd call a false bubble, if there is such a thing. So basically it's created a bubble of hikers where there wasn't going to be a bubble of hikers. Here we go, as our first Oregonian view. Not much different to NorCal, is it? But yeah, what I'm trying to say is I would imagine that from here on out, it's going to be a case of campsites are going to be a lot fuller and a lot more occupied than I've been used to. So that's going to have to be something that I bear in mind. But just incredibly happy, excited, proud, flabbergasted. Don't know how many more descriptors I can use to have got this far. Nearly 1,700 miles. No skips. A couple of alternates. And 2 small closures. The one at Wrightwood, which you weren't allowed through, and the one at Castella a few days ago that you weren't allowed through. Everything else I've hiked or I've taken an alternate route. That's pretty cool. I've been extremely lucky to scrape through that fire zone the other day. The southbound guy, I was telling him about it back at the border there. He knew about it already. He said he thought it was up to about 400 acres now, bearing in mind that it was 90, I believe, when I left Etna. And he said it's 0% contained. That was what he said anyway. I do still need to download the Watch Duty app onto my phone so I can keep track of these fires. I think it's going to be a recurring problem from now on. Well, a bit of a unceremonious start to Oregon, but it's about 7:45, so I'm running out of time and light. I've also run out of tent sites. There's not a great deal in this area at all. Certainly not that are marked on the app anyway. What I have decided to do is, there's a blue blaze, which is an alternate route. It's just a little blaze down a forest road to a campground. I think it's called Wrangle Gap or Wrangle Campground. So the wind's picked up a bit, quite a bit in fact. It's actually quite chilly, to be honest with you, and it looks like the heavens could open tonight as well. So I'm going to head down here. It's a little bit of a walk. It's about 0.5 miles off the trail, and you lose about 250 feet in elevation as well. So I'll have to climb out again in the morning, but it's not a huge issue, isn't that? I've only come across like 2 tent sites that were spare, that were free, and they were both really, really exposed. One of them was actually exposed and had a really nasty looking widowmaker right above it. So didn't quite fancy that one. So yeah, quite happy to wander down here. I think I've left myself somewhere around the 20-mile mark to do tomorrow, which, yeah, that's not too bad. I should be able to get that done by kind of, I would hope, by mid-afternoon. Give myself a bit of time to relax tomorrow evening. Anyway, I'm going to keep going down here. Can't be long left now. And then get set up, hopefully. Be interesting to see if there's any other PCTers down here. It is marked on the app as a possibility. So it's quite likely there's going to be some people down here.